Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo, the Lucky Ferals.
It's about 10:20 a.m. right now. Today is the second day after Hydrox passed away. And Ditto has been pretty good. It was really good that Hydrox and Ditto had their last meal together. However cats discuss things, Ditto understands that Hydrox was very sick and what happened. He has not been walking around and looking for her. So when she went missing, Ditto had no idea what was going on, and I would see him on the security camera footage. It looked like he was like looking for her. He was like patrolling the yard, kind of pacing around the yard, and even looking out by the woods and hanging out by the woods. He was definitely very worried and concerned, and he missed Hydrox. He had no idea what was going on. However, after Hydrox came back, and then after they saw each other and they had their last meal together, then Ditto's been more accepting of the situation. He's still sad, and he misses Hydrox a lot, but I think he understands that life goes on for him. So he's been making the best of it. He's been getting lots and lots and lots of pets. I've been petting him as much as I can. He got lots of pets this morning. He's having a really big meal. So last night I figured out some of the canned food that he really likes. And he really likes dry food, so I'm letting him have a lot of it. Since he's been outside, he's been more of a fussy eater. When he was inside, he pretty much ate anything that I gave him. But since he's been outside, he's been much more fussy. So that's why he hasn't been eating raw food as much. And he has been really picky and choosy with the canned food that I've been giving him. But he's really enjoying the dry food, so I gave him some of the wholehearted dry food. And he's getting some of the, I believe it's wellness turkey pate. He really likes that. He's been getting herbs, and yesterday and today he's been getting some antibiotics. I ended up getting a refill on the Veriflox because I had a refill on the prescription, so I was like, I might as well get it refilled. It doesn't expire for a while if it's not opened, so I might as well have it in case of another limping situation. And Ditto has been limping, so I started giving the antibiotics to him yesterday, and thankfully he ate the food that it was in. And I gave him some today. Like, I gave him a little bit of food with it, and he ate all that. And then once he ate that, then I gave him the rest of what you see on the plate. So he's doing really well, considering like he just lost his partner like 2 days ago. And now that we know that Hydrox was female, it's definitely very likely that Hydrox was Ditto's mom or grandmother, just because they look so much alike and they got along so well. And I always said that Ditto rubs up against Hydrox the way that Splash rubs up against Stella, and Splash is Stella's son, so chances are very good that Ditto is Hydrox's son. So it's going to be a tough loss for him to take. However, since Hydrox is no longer here, Hydrox has crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, it makes Ditto's situation very, very different. So I let Ditto have the choice whether he wanted to be inside or outside because of Hydrox and because of their relationship and because the fact that they were bonded with each other. I thought it would be cruel to separate them. There was no way to get Hydrox in the house. Hydrox was just too feral to want to be in a house. So the best thing would be for Ditto to be back outside with Hydrox. However, since Hydrox is no longer here, that changes everything. And just like I did with Boo, we're going to take it one day at a time, and we're going to see if Ditto remains friends with me. If he decides to become better friends with me, we'll get to a point where I could pick him up and just bring him inside. We'll get to a point where I could pick him up and put him in a carrier. Or is he going to want to go off and make friends with some other cats? Maybe he has some siblings in the neighborhood that he wants to go visit and will end up hanging out with and moving over there. So I'm going to leave the choice up to him, what he wants to do. If he does stick around, I'm going to continue with socializing him and training him, and seeing where that goes. At this point, I have no objections to turning him into a indoor cat because Hydrox is no longer here. If Hydrox was still here, then I would want them to continue with the relationship that they had. I think it was very important for both of them. However, now that the situation is completely changed, in many instances, I think it would probably be better for Ditto for him to either become part of the Lucky Ferals family or to at least become an inside cat and more socialized and potentially find himself a forever home. But we're taking things one day at a time. We're not rushing anything. We're not making up fantasies in our heads about, what we want to happen, what we want to see happen. And I really hope people don't leave disrespectful comments, because it's not about you. It's not about what you want. It's all about Ditto, what he wants, and what's best for him. It's about 9:30 a.m. right now, and here's Ditto. He's eating some breakfast. Today's fish day, so he had some canned food. He had some Earthborn Holistic Harbor Harvest. He loves that. All the inside cats love that, so that's what he had. First, he had a squeeze up with some Veriflox in it. He's been on antibiotics for the past 3 days, I believe. This is day 3. It might be day 4. And he has an injury on his front right leg. It was all swollen. He was limping on it. I thought he had a fever one day because he felt hot. And so that's why I have him on the Veriflox. I had a refill from the vet. And it seems to be working. So today is the first day that I noticed his paw is swollen. And the first time he was on the Veriflox for the same type of thing, the vet told me that when the abscess drains, it will most likely drain down to the paw. When he was inside, that never happened, but it looks like it's happening now. And also there was some pus oozing down his leg, the leg that was swollen, and he's definitely walking better on it today. So it seems that the abscess has burst, and hopefully he will continue to heal from it. I do have some Vetericin that I would like to put on it, but chances of me being able to do that are very slim because it's his front shoulder on the underneath part, and for me to try to put it there, he could easily bite me and just not like it. I might try again, but maybe I'll put some gloves on and see what I could do. So I've been giving him wet food, but I've also been giving him some dry food just to see if it'll put some more weight on him. He had a very, very good appetite today. He ate about a full can of the wet food and then a whole bunch of the dry food. It's about 6:45 p.m. right now, and I'm sitting outside with Ditto. He just got some pets, and I gave him some food. He has dry food. He also has some fish food, some canned fish. He was eating it, and then I came outside with the camera, and he stopped. So he's been laying in the garden this afternoon. I have like a small vegetable garden that is completely overgrown right now. It needs to be weeded. And he was hanging out in the garden all day, just relaxing. I don't know if he saw a mouse there or what, but maybe it was just really cool for him. Maybe it had a nice breeze, but that's where he was. He's limping less. It looks like his leg is still draining, and I hope he eats some dinner. I just moved the plate over toward him. So what he likes is when I shake the plate and he hears like crunchies shaking on the plate. That's what he really likes. So then he comes over and he eats it. So I'm going to leave him alone so I don't distract him, and hopefully he'll eat all the food that's on the plate. It's 9:30 a.m. Hello, Ditto. And I've been outside with Ditto. So today I was able to wipe Ditto down with some cat wipes. And these cat wipes do have a bit of a fragrance. So what I'm hoping is that the fragrance of the cat wipes helps to keep bugs away from Ditto. So this year there's a lot of like little flying bugs that are biting. Like if I'm out, actually now I feel like I'm getting bit up by these little bugs, and In the evening, I definitely feel like I'm getting bit up, even when I'm using bug spray. They're not mosquitoes. I don't know what they are. They're like these little black bugs. So I'm happy I was able to wipe Ditto with the cat wipes. He seemed to have enjoyed it, and he wasn't that dirty. I didn't get a lot of dirt off of him, but I'm just hoping it keeps these bugs away from him a little bit. I'm trying to film him and he's trying to rub up against my legs, which is making it difficult. I want to show you his leg also. His leg is much better. The paw is not swollen today, and the leg is not swollen today, and he's not limping, and occasionally he might walk a little bit gingerly on it, but for the most part, yeah, it looks like it's healing very nicely. I gave him some more of the antibiotics and a squeeze up, but he didn't finish the squeeze up. So this is the squeeze up that I gave him with the antibiotics, and that's what I give to him first as an appetizer. He didn't finish it. So then I put some wet food here. He tends to like turkey, so I don't know if he's going to eat it. This is a turkey pate. I added some water in. And then here's some dry food that he really likes, but he's getting really finicky. He was just rubbing up against my legs as I was showing you his plate of food. So if I leave him alone, then sometimes he'll go and he'll eat his food. I would still like him to put some weight on, so that's why I'd like him to eat. He needs to be big, strong, and healthy. But then again, I don't know what he's hunting and eating that way. He is a very, he enjoys hunting very much. So last night I put some dinner out for him, and shortly after that we heard what sounded like I don't know, a bird or an animal in the bushes, and Ditto ran straight over to it, and he sat there and he sat there and he sat there, and he ignored his dinner because he said he'd rather hunt than eat food on a plate. So that's Ditto's issue. It's about 5:30 p.m. right now. Ditto was relaxing in the garden all afternoon, and I just refilled all of the outside water bowls with water. It's been really warm, so I just want to make sure there's plenty of water out there for Ditto. You know, cats get in their mood where they'll use one water bowl for a while and then they don't like it anymore and then they'll use another one. So I want to make sure he stays hydrated. I also just gave him some food. So on the plate on the right, he has a squeeze up with some herbs. He usually likes the squeeze ups. I don't know why he's not eating it. And then on the plate he's eating off of, he has 2 types of canned food and 2 types of dry food. And again, just because he's been really finicky lately, I just want him to eat. So that's why I put the food out. He's not lipping today. He is doing really well today. He got so many pets today. He really likes to get pets. And so my goal with Ditto right now is just to continue to give him pets and to get him to a point where I'll be able to just pick him up and put him in a carrier. That's what I really need. He has no desire to come inside. He doesn't miss being inside at all. He's very, very happy being outside. He does miss Hydrox, but other than that, he is really, really happy being outside. He is very much an independent cat, like Hydrox was very much an independent cat. Ditto likes his independence. He likes his freedom. Maybe when the weather starts changing and getting colder, he won't like it anymore. But for now, he really enjoys it. He enjoys patrolling the yard. He's very much like Splash like that. He likes to go out patrolling. And I think that's why he's been laying in the garden. I think maybe there's been like a mouse or a critter out there, and he's been just like laying in wait for it. So I'm just gonna let him eat, and I've been trying to get the cats fed earlier. For a while they were getting fed like 8 p.m., especially when Ditto was inside. But if I can get them fed earlier, then it frees up my evening and I could do other things, so that's always nice. It's 8:45 a.m. and I thought I would show you what's going on with Ditto right now. So it rained overnight and everything outside is really wet, and here's Ditto. He was all curled up and fast asleep on that little carpet that's in there. The carpet is on some pavers that are probably 1.5 inches high. So when it rains, those pavers will stay dry and the carpet should stay dry. I mean, if the rain is blowing, it could blow in there and make it wet, but that's about 5 feet deep, so he could go inside of it. And there's also 2 levels of shelves with carpet on them. And those extend all the way to the back also, so there's plenty of dry space for him. Oh, he just curled up again. So when I saw him sleeping, I said I'm not going to disturb him. He might have been up all night. I'd rather him get really good sleep, and then in a little while I'll go out there and give him some breakfast. I've been putting food out sometime between 9 and 10, and right now it's 8:45, so I'm gonna continue getting ready for my day. And I just wanted to show you Ditto. I'm glad he's enjoying this shelter. So there is a tarp on top that extends all the way across the top, and then on each side there's like half of a tarp, and then on the bottom there's probably 6 to 8 inches where if an animal needs to escape, like if he's in there and then all of a sudden a predator arrives or something, like he could duck under there. Or he could see what's going on under there as he approaches it. Obviously the front is all open. The back is open too, but it's against a fence. It's probably, I don't know, 8 inches away from the fence. There is room to get out the back, there's room to get out of the front. But the main goal of turning this greenhouse into a cat shelter is to protect the cats from the rain, and I'm glad it's serving its purpose. It's about 9:47 a.m. I'm just about to give Ditto a squeeze up with some antibiotics in it, and he's come up to the back door. This is the first time he's come up to the back door in over a week, so that's awesome. And he pretty much ran up here, so he's definitely feeling a lot better, and he's meowing. And here's Simba. All the cats inside just got brushed, and they're gonna have some food after I give Ditto some food and his medicine. I'm out here with Ditto and he just wants pets. He wants pets and pets and pets. He's rubbing against my other leg. He rubs up against the side of the house. Eat your appetizer, Ditto. It's your appetizer, okay? If you eat that, then you'll get your breakfast, okay? Okay? Eat that. Eat the appetizer. Okay, if I go inside, he might eat it. Maybe I'll go inside, I'll give the other cats their breakfast, and then after I do that, then Ditto can have his breakfast, because I want him to eat this. He's purring. He's very happy. Okay, yeah, good job. Good job, Ditto, okay? Eat the food. Okay, I'm going inside. You eat the food. So Ditto ate the squeeze up, but not until I put a few crunchies on it and then like shut the door. Then I fed the cats, and then when I opened the door, his plate was clean. So I just gave him a scoop of the homemade raw food. He ate a few bites of it and then he walked away. So I put some more crunchies on it, and I put some more crunchies on the plate. He's really been enjoying crunchies lately. When he was inside, I did not give him any because we were trying to heal his mouth. I'm basically just giving him comfort food right now. That's why he has a bunch of crunchies. I'm happy he's eating the raw food because for quite a while he did not want to eat any raw food while he was outside. So I only defrosted one scoop for him. But I can defrost more for dinner for him. I'm happy he's eating. And hopefully he'll eat the crunchies. So these are the shelves that I bought for him to walk out of the recovery room when he was in it. And they're not waterproof at all. So I bought some marine paint that's used on boats. And I painted this. It has like 2 or 3 coats of the marine paint. And last night it rained and everything is still wet. These shelves are still wet. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up. They were not very expensive at all. They're about $40 at Target, so I really don't mind if they get ruined. But it will be interesting to see how well the marine paint will protect them from wet weather. And Ditto is still eating. I just gave him a plate of Earthborn Holistic Catalina Catch. It was in the refrigerator, so I added some warm water to it, which made a really nice broth, which he's licking up, which is good. And he still has some crunchies left, so I'll leave him alone for a little bit and we'll see what he eats. Ditto cleaned his plates. Look at that. So that was about half of a can of the Catalina Catch and 1 scoop of homemade raw food with some crunchies, some dry food. Here's the inside of the rain shelter. And I'm just curious to see how much of it is dry and how much of it is wet. So let's take a look. So these are all just little rugs that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1 each. They fit perfectly on the shelves. And these are dry. And these are dry. This one's a little bit damp right here. And then this is where Ditto was laying. And this is dry. Yeah, that's good. Let's come in here. Dry. Dry. The rug on the bottom is all dry. And then these are dry. So this works really well for a rain shelter. I thought at least the edges would be all wet, but they're not. They're dry. And I guess it was because it was just kind of like a light rain. Obviously for a storm shelter, I don't think this would stay as dry. Maybe in the middle it would still be dry, but I'm really happy for, regular rain. And here's Ditto. He's hanging out on the patio. So I'm just gonna let him relax. He got a lot of pets today. He has a belly full of food, so let's let him digest it. Maybe he'll take a really good nap. I want him to continue to relax and heal. And he did get his medicine, so he had some antibiotics. So now's a really good time for him to just go take a nap. So I'm going to go leave him alone. When caring for feral cats or outside cats, it's really good to know when to just leave them alone. And just give them their own space and their own time to do whatever they want to do. It's 7:30 a.m. and there's Ditto. He's sleeping in the rain shelter, which is good. I looked at the security camera footage and he went in there about 5:30 a.m. and looks like he's been sleeping there since then, so for the past 2 hours. I hope he's gotten some good rest. Around 8 p.m. last night, Ditto was eating some food by the back door. I'd given him a plate of food, which he ate, and then I gave him a second plate of food, and all of a sudden he got like on high alert and he was looking across the yard like something was out there. So I opened the door and I saw 2 raccoons. They were not big raccoons. They almost looked like teenager raccoons. And they were walking around in this area of the yard. They're obviously looking for food. And I was going to shoo them away. But before I could do that, Ditto ran off. Ditto does not like raccoons at all. He ran away from them. I think he's afraid of raccoons since the incident when he was in the heated cat shelter last winter, and then we had that crazy raccoon that tried to attack him. Yeah, so that's what happened last night. I did not see him again, but I checked the security cameras this morning, and he was like on patrol around 5 a.m., and that's when he came and he laid down in this rain shelter. So I'm really glad that I converted this greenhouse to the rain shelter for the cats. And he does have shelves to go on, but for some reason he likes laying on this bottom carpet. It's 9:45 a.m. Ditto had his last dose of the Veriflox, so today's day 7, and that's all I'm giving him is 7 days, because anything over that can cause blood marrow side effects, which is what I think he had from 10 days of Veriflox when he got the bloody noses. So he ate the antibiotic in a squeeze up with a few crunchies on top. I just gave him a scoop of homemade raw food, which he's eating, and there's some crunchies on the plate also. If he eats all that, then I'll give him some canned food. It's nice to know that he is back to eating the raw food. For a while after being outside, he would not touch it. So I'm glad that he's eating it again. And I'm glad that he has an appetite. I'm glad that he's doing well. I'm glad that he's eating by the back door. And yeah, everything is going well. So let's hope everything continues to go well. It's about 8 p.m. and I'm hanging outside with Ditto. And he's been getting lots of pets. He had a really big dinner before. He had 2 scoops of homemade food, he had a bunch of crunchies, he had some canned food, and he also got wiped again with those pet wipes. He got wiped in the morning and he got wiped at night. He really likes them. I think they're helping to keep bugs away from him, which is nice, and makes his fur nice and soft. And Ditto just loves attention. Come on, he's rubbing up against my legs right now. Now he's laying on the patio. He actually let me touch his tummy. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work up to being able to pick him up. He's rubbing on me. Once I can pick him up, then a lot of problems are solved, because then I can put him in a carrier, get him to a vet, and it's just so much better once I can pick him up. I don't think I'm there yet, but we're close. So here's Ditto, and let me touch his tummy. He does have a wound on his front leg where there was an abscess. The abscess is drained out, and that's why he's been on antibiotics. Today's the last day, day 7. I still have enough antibiotics in the container, so if something should happen to him within the next few weeks, he could be on more antibiotics again. But right now he's doing really well. He's letting me get close to rubbing his belly. I have to be really careful because I don't want to be like scratched. But he's a nice boy. He likes spending time with me. And he obviously misses Hydrox a lot. And I have tried putting a towel on the floor and sitting on the towel, but it freaks him out. Stella and Splash are watching from the door. And here's Ditto. As I was showing you Stella, he was rubbing up all against my legs. I'm sitting on a little stool right now. This is like my training stool that I use for all the cats. It's only, I don't know, like 6 to 8 inches off the ground. Hey Ditto. He's just happy that I'm hanging out with him. Ditto loves attention. Right, Ditto? Okay. So I'm actually, I'm gonna go inside and grab some, rubber gloves, and I want to clean out one of the cat shelters. So Hydrox's shelter was all cleaned out. There's another wound that I don't know if you could see it there on his leg. So we had a puncture wound here and then a puncture wound on the other side. They've both drained out, and he's doing well. So Hydrox's shelter was all cleaned out, and it was all disinfected, and there's nothing in it because it's not winter time right now. We took the heated pad out, so Ditto can go in there if he wants to, but I want to also clean out the doghouse shelter, just because I don't know what's been going on in there. And yeah, I don't know if you could see the wound. It's healing nicely, actually, but it was all swollen before. Ditto's very happy right now. He spent the majority of the day on the patio, and then he likes to lay in the garden. So then the middle of the afternoon he went and he laid in the garden. I think it's cooler for him. And I don't know where he went last night, but I hope he goes somewhere safe again tonight, because, you know, the raccoons, possums, and skunks start walking around once it gets dark. Yesterday they actually came when it was still pretty light out, so maybe they knew it was going to rain overnight, so they just wanted to get a jump start. But yeah. Elevator butt. So hopefully Ditto had some good sleep today. I know he had a lot of good food today. He looks good. I hope he feels good, and I hope he has a good night. You know, he likes to go on patrol at night, so I let him sleep as much as he wants during the day without bothering him. It is 8:45 p.m. and Ditto's just hanging out in the middle of the patio. He's just hanging out there, staring at the back door. When I was in Boo's room, he was staring at the windows, and I actually opened the window for him to see if he wanted to come in, but he didn't want to. I'd be happy if he moved up here onto the steps closer to the back door. We all know that the skunks, possums, and raccoons will be coming by, so I just think it's better for him to be up here or somewhere, wherever he goes. He could be on the patio furniture, he could be on the shelves here by the back door, or he could just hang out here. Usually when there's no food around, they stay away. And there's no food out at all today. I picked up what was left of Ditto's plate and I threw it out. He pretty much ate all the food, didn't leave much. It's about 9 p.m. and I tried to lure Ditto inside this door. It didn't work. And I tried to lure him into the window of the recovery room, and that didn't work either. So right now he's just hanging out in the middle of the patio. He's just relaxing. Boo is near my feet, so he's been looking at Boo. Simba was in the window of the recovery room. He was looking at Simba. We all know that the skunks, possums, and raccoons will be coming by, so I just think it's better for him to be up here or somewhere, wherever he goes. He could be on the patio furniture, he could be on the shelves here by the back door, or he could just hang out here. Usually when there's no food around, they stay away. And there's no food out at all today. I picked up what was left of Ditto's plate and I threw it out. He pretty much ate all the food, didn't leave much. And then I had all the cats put in a separate room so not to scare Ditto. And then I shut the doors to make sure that the cats were not near any of the entrances, and Ditto did not want to come in either. I thought maybe he was afraid of the other cats. It's about 10:37 a.m. right now, and Ditto's finally eating some food because I had to put a squeeze up on top of it. So it was kind of a repeat of yesterday, where he showed up around 5 o'clock in the morning, went into the greenhouse shelter, and took a nap on the carpet that's in there. And then he was waiting on the patio this morning. He's been hanging out on the patio a lot more often now. I went outside, had to give him a whole lot of pets, like so many pets. And then I wiped him with the wipes. He loves that. So we got a bath with the wipes, like a sponge bath. And right now he's eating some homemade raw food. And I put some crunchies on the plate. And then I also have some canned food on the other plate. So I just want him to eat. I want him to be healthy. I want him to get big and strong. I did put a few herbs in the raw food he's eating. So he's getting the NHV Pet Products Felim, which is an immunity boost, and a BK detox. Both of those are good for cats with FIV, and Ditto has FIV. Also, while I was outside, I refilled all of the water bowls with fresh water. So he has plenty of water, and yeah, hopefully today will be a nice day. It's supposed to be really, really hot, really, really humid. So I'd rather him eat well today and then just relax and take naps all day. I'm here with Ditto. It's about 6 p.m. and it was a super hot day today. It was like a heat advisory day. We're up in the 90s and it is so, so humid. And I want to show you how Ditto loves to be wiped. So here's Ditto, and here is a wet paper towel. Sometimes I use pet wipes on him, but today, because it's so hot and humid, I thought he might like to cool off with a cool wipe. So I just put some cool water on some paper towels, and I've already wiped him down, and I got quite a bit of dirt off of him because he likes to lay in the garden during the day and take a nap. So I thought I would get a clean, fresh towel and try to film how he likes to be wiped. So here's Ditto. He loves having his back wiped and the top of his head wiped, and he just loves it. And what he'll do is he'll put his butt in the air, and then he'll take his jaw like that. See what he's doing? He's rubbing his jaw on the pavement. And just today, he actually lets me wipe his cheeks. You know how cats love being, they love it when you rub their cheeks, when you pet the side of their face? Well, I haven't done that with Ditto yet. We're just not there yet. But today, he let me take the towel and wipe the sides of his face. And sometimes he lets me even touch his stomach. I have to be really careful because, when cats are new to that, they can really scratch you or, bite you. Ditto has not scratched me or bit me. Here we go. It's butt in the air. And then, see, yeah, I have to be careful, with his cheeks also, because sometimes he just doesn't understand it yet. So you have to remember with feral cats, they don't understand petting. You have to do it very, very gradually. And I got lucky with Ditto because he was inside, and one day he just really, really wanted pets, and of course I was trying to brush him, and you kind of have to let the cat decide what pace they want to proceed at. He lets me do his tail. Okay, you're gonna lay down? So, this is what Ditto likes to do before breakfast and also before dinner. He likes to get lots of pets in. He likes to be wiped twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And I've been using pet wipes, like all natural pet wipes, that I think have been helping to keep bugs off of him. Today I'm not. I just thought he might want to cool off a little bit. I'm thinking of putting like another container of water out for him. He actually has 5 water bowls to choose from of varying sizes, some really big ones to some smaller ones. But I'm thinking of putting like maybe the plastic tub out if he wants to like play in the water. I wonder what would happen if I put it out with some toys, because when Stella and the kittens lived outside, they actually used to like to play with it. Maybe I'll put it out with like a rubber duck in it and see if he goes for it. I just gave Ditto a rubber ducky. It's about 8:15 p.m. right now, and we just have a thunderstorm that rolled in, and Ditto's hanging out in the greenhouse shelter. I told him he could go in the other shelters. You know, there's the custom shelter under the house, there's a doghouse shelter, but he wants to be in this shelter right now. Obviously, he could run to the other shelters if he wants to. It looks like he just moved farther in. He was just hanging out on the edge of the bottom there, so hopefully the storm will pass quickly. It's 9:15 a.m. and there's Ditto. He's curled up in this rain shelter, or the greenhouse shelter, and he has a new routine. So at night when it gets dark, he'll go and he'll lay in the shelter. And then a few hours later, when the raccoons and skunks and possums come by, he'll leave. And he comes back around 5 o'clock in the morning, and then he sleeps for a while in the shelter again. So he's been in here since about 5 a.m. Now, last night, I just happened to wake up around 3:30 a.m., and I couldn't get back to bed right away. So I said, let me see what's going on outside. And I do have security cameras outside, which I can check from an app on my phone or my iPad, and I checked the security camera footage, and it seems that Ditto chased a cat out of the yard last night. Like around 4 a.m. There was a cat in the yard, and it looks like the cat that I've seen in the woods. So there's been like a tabby and white cat that I've been seeing walking around the edge of the woods. And to me, it looked like that cat. It's hard to tell with the nighttime security camera footage because it's like night vision, so you can't really see. But to me, that's what it looked like. It looked like the cat came into the yard, was walking around like behind the fence. And I guess Ditto saw it, because then the next thing that I saw was Ditto chasing the cat out of the yard, like running full speed after this cat along the side of the house and into the front yard. I don't know what happened once they got into the front yard. The front yard cameras did not pick it up. But yeah, I'm not really happy that Ditto's doing that. Obviously, it means he's territorial, and he's saying this is my territory, but I want him to stay out of fights. And I've spoken to him multiple times about staying out of fights. So yeah, hopefully he just chased the cat out of the yard and there were no fights. But this is his new routine. He really likes this shelter. I had to move it to the opposite side of the patio because I need to have some trees trimmed, and I'm waiting on that. They were supposed to do that this week, but they haven't done that. I don't know why it's so hard to find good tree trimmers or tree people. They're just really, really flaky. I tried last summer, and it was just like one flake after another. And by flake, I mean people that just either don't show up to give you an estimate, or they give you an estimate and then they don't show up to do the job. Like stuff like that. People that just flake out. They don't show up when they're supposed to. So, yeah, I gotta try to get that situation straightened out. But anyway, that's why Ditto's on this side of the patio instead of the other side of the patio. I think it's better for him on this side of the patio anyway. There's more ways for him to escape if, something should happen, and he also is really, really comfortable there. It's 10:30 a.m. right now, and it is supposed to be another very hot day today. It's another heat advisory day. So I refilled all the water bowls on the patio with some fresh water. There's a big bowl of ice outside, and Ditto has 3 plates of food because I don't have time this morning to sit around and watch him eat. So he has a plate of dry food, which he's eating now. The plate in the middle is some wet food, and the plate on the right is some homemade raw food with a little bit of the dry food mixed on top. So we'll see if he eats it. I am outside with Ditto this morning. I just gave him some food, gave him some homemade raw food with some herbs mixed in and some crunchies, and I hope he eats it. I wanted to tell you what's going on with Ditto. So Ditto has kind of decided that this patio is his territory, this yard is his territory, and he's really stepped up since Hydrox is no longer here. So when Hydrox was here, Hydrox had seniority, and this was Hydrox's patio, and Hydrox had first pick of the cat shelters, and Ditto knew that Hydrox was his elder, so he respected Hydrox. And now that Hydrox is no longer here, Ditto has definitely adjusted very well. So he went through a mourning period, and he went through definitely some adjustment, but he's doing really good now, and he's really stepped up, and he's really said, I'm going to keep the mice away. He's been hunting mice at night, trying to keep them away, and he's been staying away from the raccoons and the skunks and the possums, which is good. That's what I want. I want him to stay away from that. And he has been chasing other cats out of the yard, but that's because he's very territorial of the yard. But he's also been spending way more of his time in the yard. When Hydrox was here, I had no idea where Ditto was most of the time. Like, he'd come by for meals, but other than that, I might see him like relaxing in the bushes somewhere, but for the most of the time, I didn't know where he was. And I have to say, recently, definitely the past several days, the past week, he's been spending the vast majority of his time in the yard. And oh my gosh, look at this giant bug. Look at that giant bug on the edge of the flower pot. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what kind of bug that is. It's really big. So also because Hydrox is not here, Ditto has to, rub up against me a million times before he eats, and he has to get a lot of pets. So I try to do this. Before he eats, like twice a day. He does feel like he's putting a little bit of weight on, which is good. He could use some weight. So I've been giving him more of the dry food, like a lot more of the dry food, pretty much just letting him eat what he wants during the day. Like, I'll load up food in the morning. Sometimes there's like a bowl of dry and 2 plates of wet out here. He'll pick whether he wants to eat the raw food or the canned food and the dry food. And then for dinner, like, I throw out all the morning food, and then he only has a certain amount of time to eat his dinner. Whatever he doesn't eat, I then pick up and I throw it away. I don't want to leave any food out for the raccoons at all now. Since Ditto's the only one here, we're trying a new strategy with the raccoons and the possums and the skunks, and it's been working out better. They just kind of visit the yard and walk through and then leave instead of hanging out. So at least for the summer, because there is an abundance of food available for the animals in the woods and stuff. So maybe in the winter it'll be a different story, but right now that's how it is. So he's not going to eat the food until I go inside, because that's what he does. So I'm going to go inside. So Ditto did not want to eat the healthy raw food that I gave him, so I gave him a plate of dry food, and he's eating that. So maybe he'll eat the dry food and then go eat the raw food. I don't know, but for the next meal, I'm only going to give him like half a portion, like 1 scoop of the raw instead of 2. I just really hate wasting it. Eat your food, Ditto, okay? Eat this food because it's attracting flies. Okay? We're attracting flies. Can you eat your food, please? Eat the food. Oh, don't lay in your food. Don't roll around in your food, Ditto. Come on. Come on. Your tail is full of food, Ditto. Okay? You're full of food. Let me get a wipe. Let me get a wipe. Come here. Come here. Come here. Here. Wipe you down. Wipe you down. Clean the tail. Clean your tail. Full of food. Come here. Right here. Come here. Come here. Ditto loves being wiped. He loves the pet wipes. I think these are the ones from Target. I think they're called Pet Relief. Don't put your clean tail in your food. I just wiped your tail. You gonna put it back in your food? Come on, Ditto. Okay. Don't put the tail in. You put the tail back in your food. Come on, don't do that. Don't put your tail in your food. Come on, eat. Eat your food, manja, manja. Come on, you do it. Okay? Pretty boy. No, you're fierce. You're a fierce boy, right? Fierce. Ditto says he's fierce. Okay? Now eat your food. Eat your food. So I'm getting really close to being able to pick Ditto up. I've been practicing putting my hand underneath him. What are you doing? Today I was able to lift him a few inches off the ground. He's not used to it. He needs to get used to it. I thought maybe I could film a little bit. See? Were you able to see that? Like, I don't want him to, getting nervous and start attacking, but that's a good start, right? We got him a few inches off the ground, and it's just being consistent with that, a little bit of training every day, and then before you know it, he'll be used to it. Right, Ditto? And that's the goal right now. Once I'm able to pick him up, then if anything happens to him, I could put him in a carrier and, get him to a vet. Or bring him inside. So if, like when winter rolls around, if he's having a hard time out here and he's afraid of walking inside, I'd be able to pick him up, stick him in a carrier, and bring him inside. But he's really happy outside right now. He's really grown in his confidence. He's got a lot of confidence over like the past week, past few days especially. He's getting into a new routine, and I think that's really, really important also, his new routine. So after we lost Hydrox, then, Ditto was definitely upset about that. He went through an adjustment phase for probably a good week. Then he's slowly coming into his own, which is really nice to see. It's like Ditto has grown up. Right, Ditto? Okay, he just wants so many pets. He loves attention. He's purring. Obviously, you probably can't hear it. There's a lot of noise out here. Okay, eat. Eat, please. Eat, please. I gotta go put water in all the water bowls, okay? Let me give you fresh water in all the water bowls. But I want you to eat. Eat, eat, eat. Here. Eat that. Eat it, you like it. Eat it, you like it. I know he likes these crunchies and this wet food because he had it for breakfast and he enjoyed it, so you should enjoy it for dinner also. I don't know what he did today. Yesterday he hung out on the patio all day. I don't know what he did yet. I don't know what he did today. I didn't see him. I was also out, so I don't know. Okay. Okay. You eat. Eat the food. You eat it before the ants come and get it. Come on. Eat it before the ants get it. You eat it. Come on, Ditto. Go ahead. Eat it, Ditto. No? You're just gonna lay there? Okay, then I'm gonna go fill the water bowls, okay? Okay, you're just gonna hang out there? Or I'm gonna go fill the water bowls. It's about 7:24 p.m. and I'm out here with Ditto, and he has a really big plate of food. So he has 2 scoops of homemade raw food with water mixed in, and then he has like a 1/4 cup of crunchies. Ditto has been getting unlimited crunchies lately. I've been really giving him pretty much as many crunchies as he wants to eat, and also as much of the wet food as he wants to eat. I'm limited with the raw food because it's only what I've defrosted, and if he eats all the raw food, then I give him some wet food if he wants it. But I have to tell you, so today, this is the first day that I noticed these 2 bones. There's 2 bones here that have always been like really sharp, like really noticeable. And today when I pet him, I feel like he's actually gaining weight and filling out a little bit. So that's really good. I'm really happy for him because he was a little bit too thin. Like when he first came inside, he was skin and bones, and I've said it before, I really, it's not fun when you pet a cat and you feel like you're petting a skeleton. And right now, he's definitely filling out nicely again. And I'm really happy that these 2 bones are not as sharp as they were. And he's still looking good. He's looking really good. He's very, very happy. He's getting a bunch of pets. You want to be wiped, Ditto? You want me to get some wipes? There's not a whole lot of bugs out today, so I haven't wiped him. And you can see on his arm where his wounds were. Those are healing nicely also. He's been grooming those a lot, so we're keeping an eye on him. We're keeping a good eye on him, and he's been behaving himself, and he's been staying safe, and that's the most important thing. I tell him every day, you gotta stay safe, Ditto, okay? You gotta be a good boy, no fighting. But you know, with cats, you can't say no and then what you don't want them to do, because they don't hear the no. They only hear the part. So if I say like no fighting to him, it means okay, go fight. So you have to actually say the opposite. So I have to say stay safe or be peaceful. You know, be a peacekeeper. That's how it works with cats. So he's really happy right now. And this is his routine before he eats. He has to get a lot of pets. Now yesterday I was busy, so I didn't get, oh my gosh. He really headbutted me. Let's see how much I could pick him up today. Will he let me pick him up? You wanna let me pick you up, Ditto? A little bit more. I know, I shouldn't have let go. I shouldn't have dropped him. But it was a little bit more. As long as he doesn't get mad after I try that, and he hasn't been getting mad. Okay, you gonna eat your food now? You gonna eat your food now? You want to be wiped? You want a wipe? I'm gonna get a wipe. He's a little excited today. Look at his tail. You gonna be wiped? Come on, get up. Get up, I'll wipe you. Come on. Come on, we'll get the bugs off. Come on. Come on, Ditto, let's get the bugs off. Come on. Come on, get up. Get up, I don't wipe you when you're laying down. Come on. to eat your food? Because it's starting to get dark. You going to eat your food? Alright, I'm going to go in, okay? Ditto only eats his food when I go inside. If I go inside, then he'll eat. So I want him to eat before it gets dark. So I'm going to go in. Eat that. This is the shelving unit that I painted with the marine gloss paint. I used the white marine gloss paint because I read online that you can paint this kind of furniture made from like MDF particle board with that paint, and it will make it weather resistant. And so that's what I did. I actually gave this entire unit 3 coats of paint on all sides. You know, top, bottom, sides, everything. And it took quite a while to do that. And it's been outside for, I would say, a couple weeks now. And at first, it was doing really good. But now that we've started to get more rain, it's not holding up as well. So the first thing I notice is that around the corners, can you see this, where it's like separating, and around here, and around here, and around these corners. So it seems that the corners aren't holding up as well. And then the other day I noticed this. I was like, what is that? A piece of a carrot? It looked a little different at the time. And it's starting to spread with these other areas. It's basically some kind of orange eruption. And when I touched it the other day, it crumbled. So I have no idea what that is. I don't know if it's some kind of chemical reaction or what. And now it's starting to show up on this one also. It's kind of scary. And there's more here. I have no idea. And then like here, I don't know if you could see it, but the paint is starting to like buckle up. And then here, on this side, the paint was peeling a little bit. And it actually took part of the coating. These are white to begin with when I bought them, and then I painted them with the white paint on top, but it's all starting to peel, and there's also some more of this orange stuff erupting here. So I just wanted to film this as an update to show you what happens if you try to paint some particle board furniture with weatherproof paint. It really doesn't help it. It's 11:55 a.m. right now, and we have like a hurricane warning for later today into tomorrow, and we also have a tropical storm warning. We're actually just supposed to get like tropical storm here. The hurricane is more for like Long Island and New England, but we're supposed to get some bad weather. And based on my theory with the cats, so my theory is every time we get bad weather or a storm, the cats eat a ton of food ahead of time. It's like they know that bad weather is coming. So this was Ditto's breakfast. He had 3 plates of food, 1 plate with homemade raw food on it, which he did not touch. Another plate with some crunchies and some canned fish. He ate a little bit of the crunchies on that plate. Then another bowl of crunchies, which he barely touched. So based on my theory, it does not look like we're going to be getting all that much bad weather. So I'm hoping my theory is right. Because if we were getting a lot of bad weather, Ditto should be eating a ton of food. But maybe it was just Hydrox. Maybe Hydrox was the one that knew to eat a ton of food before bad weather. So we'll see. It's about 7:30 p.m. today, and whoa, Ditto just headbutted me like crazy. I wanted to show you how nicely I've been brushing him. You hear all those bugs? You hear those noisy bugs and now the airplanes. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. So what I wanted to say was that we have a tropical storm on the way. Well, we have a tropical storm warning. It's supposed to hit tonight, like sometime overnight. And I've been spending a lot of time with Ditto. It's about 1:15 p.m. right now, and there's Ditto. He's in the rain shelter. He's on the shelf in the rain shelter. Nice and dry. So there was a break in the rain probably about 2 hours ago, and I went outside and I put a plate of food under the feeding table. It's not a paper plate, it's a ceramic plate because I didn't want it to get soaking wet. So I put some raw food on it. Actually, it was Boo's breakfast that he did not want to eat, so I gave it to Ditto. So it was the Primal Raw Rabbit Nuggets, and I also put a whole bunch of crunchies with it, and the plate is completely clean. So it looks like Ditto ate it, and then he came over here to the rain shelter, and he's curled up on the shelf, so I'm really happy. So earlier when I put the food out, I went in the rain shelter myself, and just to feel around to see how dry it was. And so the floor, that purple rug's a little bit damp, and the back of the white chair is wet because there's some rain coming through the back side. It's hitting the back of the chair. The front of the chair is still dry, and these shelves are predominantly dry. The edges are a little damp, but for the most part they're dry, and the tarp covering it does provide a very good amount of shelter from the rain. So yeah, I was really happy with that, and I'm happy that he's using it. It's 9:45 a.m. There's Ditto. He's meowing at me this morning. He spent a good portion of the night in the rain shelter, and I'm just about to give him some breakfast. So that is what Ditto's getting for breakfast. He's getting some raw food, a scoop, some canned food, and some dry food. But first he wants pets, and I only give him a little of each to see what he's in the mood to eat, because I don't want to waste a bunch of food. If he eats the raw food, I'll give him more. If he eats the canned food, I'll give him more. If he eats the dry food, I'll give him more. But he just wants pets. It's really humid today. It's still hot. Thankfully, the storm has passed, and we did not get much wind, although the patio is covered in debris today. So it's mostly leaves and some cherries, but that's because I had all the trees trimmed last week. Hey, Ditto. So all of the overgrown trees have been trimmed back along the fence line so that there's a lot more sunlight on the patio now, and yeah, hopefully there's just a lot less debris falling on the patio from before. And here's Ditto. He just loves pets. I'm gonna go get the wipes, and I'll wipe him with the wipes. I gotta give him all fresh water. So this is a folding table that I put out last night because it was raining. It was just not stopping. There was no break in the rain for Ditto to eat. And this is the little feeding table that I've had, and I put the food out under the feeding table and it keeps the food from getting wet. But for some reason Ditto does not like eating under this feeding table. I don't know if he feels vulnerable, if raccoons or possums show up. And when he does, he doesn't really put himself under the table. He kind of just keeps his back out from under the table, or as much as himself as he can. He was getting all wet. So because of that fact, I said, let me go get my larger table. So this is a portable camping table. It folds up. It's really lightweight. I don't know if it's made out of aluminum, but it's just really lightweight. And the legs extend also, so I just kept it on the lowest legs. Last night this table worked out perfectly because I put food down here for Ditto and he just walked under the table here and he stood here. He was perfectly covered while he ate his food. So he ate, I would say, half of the food that I put out for him, and then I waited a while, and then whatever he didn't eat I then tossed out because it was starting to get wet, because it had been out in the rain for a while, and then I didn't want like skunks and possums and raccoons to come and eat it. I've been trying to keep no food out for the critters because I've noticed what they do is they just pass through. So here's Ditto, and he wants more pets. And what I was saying is, if there's no food out on the patio for leftover food for the raccoons, skunks, or possums, they literally just walk in, they look around, they smell around, and then they pass through really quickly. They don't stick around the patio. So that's been a really good solution because, I'm just trying to keep Ditto out of fights and out of harm's way. Hydrox was very different. When Hydrox was around, she didn't care about any of the wildlife. Obviously, she's been living with the wildlife a lot longer than Ditto has, and she wasn't afraid of them. And if they approached her, she hissed and swatted at them, and then they just left her alone. So Hydrox had no problems with raccoons, skunks, possums. She was not afraid of any of them, and she just swatted and hissed, and they left. Ditto, on the other hand, is afraid of them. So that's why I'm just trying to be more conscious of the food that's left on the patio. So these are the painted shelves that I've had outside, and the orange eruption on these shelves just keeps getting worse, and Ditto just rubbed up against this corner. Can you see all this orange stuff that's erupting out of the paint? I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I don't know if it's an orange mold. There is such a thing as an orange mold. It could be some kind of chemical reaction. I don't want him rubbing up against this and getting this orange stuff all over him, so I'm gonna get rid of these shelves. This was an experiment. It obviously didn't work by painting it with this marine gloss paint, which is supposed to waterproof things. It obviously didn't. It's 8:24 a.m. Look at Ditto. He's all stretched out on the shelf in the wind shelter, which used to be the mini greenhouse. He was getting some sun before on the shelf, but I guess the sun moved and now it's behind some trees. But he really enjoys hanging out there. And we did not get any rain overnight. I just think it's a nice, comfortable place for him. So those are wire shelves, and they just lay across the frame of the greenhouse. But I had actually attached them with wire so they don't come off. He's not going to slide off. And then I found those carpet pieces that are on top of it at the Dollar Tree, and they're an absolutely perfect fit, absolutely perfect fit. So it's meant to be. And so he really likes it. It's very comfortable for him. It's 10:02 a.m. and the landscapers are here right now, so all the cats are all nerved up. Boo doesn't even want to finish his breakfast, so I moved Ditto's food over here. It's kind of on the other side of the patio table, and he's been eating some dry food, which is really good. This is the Blue Wilderness dry food. I just opened a new bag of it, and he seems to like it a lot, much more than the Whole Earth Farms or the other brand of dry food that I had open. I think it was the 4 Health from Tractor Supply. Boo really likes that one. None of the other cats really like it. Ditto's okay with it, but he seems to really like this Blue Wilderness. I think maybe the size of them is better for him because they're smaller and they're also kind of rounder. So I think it's probably easier for him to eat without teeth. He could probably swallow them whole much better. He also has a plate of wet food. There's 3 different kinds of wet food there for him to try. And I hope he eats it. It's better for him than the dry food. But I'm just happy he's eating the dry food because he hasn't really been eating much the past few days. I don't know if he's been hunting more or what. You know, when they're outside, you don't know what they're eating. You have no idea what they're eating. So, yeah. So he's doing well. He got lots of pets this morning. Lots and lots of pets. It's 7:33 a.m. And there's Ditto. He's all curled up on the shelf in the greenhouse cat shelter. He looks so comfortable. I'm glad he's able to get some good sleep. It's 8:20 a.m. Look at Ditto. He's getting some sun. He's getting some good sleep. So what I like to do in the morning when I see him sleeping here in the shelter is I like to not disturb him until I see that he's like awake. And once I see he's awake, then I'll like open the back door and put some food out for him. He always wants a lot of pets. But I think it's very, very important for him to get some good sleep because he's up most of the night.
Here, Ditto.
Here's the audience at the door. There's an audience inside. You gonna say hello, Ditto? That's Stella and Simba. Stella and Simba watching from the door. Alright, I'm gonna go get you some food. I just gave Ditto a platter of food for dinner. So he's having some homemade raw food, a scoop. He's having one of the Primal Raw beef and salmon nuggets. He's having a little bit of turkey baby food, which I think is what he's licking up now. I just put that in random places on the platter. And he's also having some of the Blue Wilderness crunchies. I don't know what he's in the mood for eating, and since he's outside, he gets very kind of picky with the food that I give him. So that's why I kind of just give him a little bit of a few different things to see what he'll go for. One thing that I noticed earlier today is that if I give him crunchies in a bowl, he'll actually drag the crunchies out of the bowl. Like he'll pick up some crunchies with his mouth and then put them on the floor, and then he'll eat them on the floor. So I guess he doesn't like eating out of bowls. He's happier eating on plates. That's why there's a bunch of crunchies on the floor next to him. Those are like leftovers from breakfast. I just want him to eat. He expends a lot of calories when he's outside. So during the day, he mostly just sleeps and naps and rests. But he's pretty much up on patrol all night. When I check the security camera footage, like I'll just see him walking, almost like he's doing laps of the yard. He'll like walk across the patio, and then a little while later he'll walk across the patio. Then a little while later he'll walk across the patio. So he does have some trouble eating the dry food. So when he was inside, he had trouble eating dry food, so I kept him only on wet food. But because he's outside, I've been giving him some dry food just to get more calories in him, because he doesn't always eat the wet food. He prefers the dry food. Like if it was up to him, he would just like live on crunchies outside. But I prefer the wet food. So right now we're kind of at a compromise. Go eat your food, Ditto. Eat it. Eat it. It's nice and cool. It was inside, okay? It's cool. It's really hot outside. It is so hot and humid outside right now. Tell Ditto to eat his food. Eat your food, Ditto. Eat the food. Eat the food. Eat the food. I'm going inside so you'll eat your food, okay? I'm going inside. Eat your food. Eat the food, okay? Eat the food. Eat it. I'm going inside. Don't rub on the camera. It's 10:30 a.m. Look at Ditto. He looks so comfortable on the shelf in the rain shelter. He must know it's going to rain today or tomorrow because he ate a huge breakfast, like really big, and he went back in the rain shelter. So that's a little bit different from his normal routine. When the weather's nice, he'll eat his breakfast and then he'll go wherever he goes, like he'll go wandering, or I don't know where he goes. But today he's hanging out in the rain shelter. I think he's expecting rain. It's overcast today, and there is a possibility of rain in the forecast. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The cats have been really good at predicting weather, and it is quite windy. But I'm happy he's comfortable. Right now, it's about 1:30 p.m., and I thought I would show you Ditto. He's hanging out in the rain shelter on his favorite shelf. And it's another gray day. It's kind of cool out, and it looks like it might rain today. I'm not sure what's on the forecast. But Ditto, this is his thing now. When it's like a gray and rainy day, he likes to just hang out on the shelf in the shelter. He gets nice and comfortable. Now the shelf is kind of narrow for him. So what I did yesterday, can you see it? So this is the pet cot that Hydrox used to enjoy laying on. So I put it here inside of the shelter, and I put a piece of carpet, a small piece of carpet on it, just to make it a little more comfortable for Ditto. And he hasn't used it yet, so he might not like it. Maybe because it's not high enough, being on the shelf gives him some extra height. Hydrox used to love laying on these shelves, and Hydrox was just so fierce. If any kind of raccoon, possum, skunk came near her, she would just swat at them and hiss at them, and they would go away. Everyone respected Hydrox. All of the wildlife respected her, and they were afraid of her because she was fierce. It's 8:23 a.m. and there's Ditto. He's sleeping in the rain shelter. He looks really comfy and cozy there. He loves this one shelf. I guess it's his favorite shelf. There are 8 shelves in this greenhouse. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 4 on the other side. And he loves this one. I guess he gets the best view of the patio from here. So yesterday I put some clear plastic over the top area in the front and in the back. Can you see the clear plastic? So I didn't want to fully enclose the front in plastic because I don't think he'd like it. I think he likes the fact that there's like open access, so it's really easy for him to leave. Also, it is still quite warm out, and if I cover everything in plastic, it's just going to get too warm in this shelter. Like the greenhouse would get over 100 degrees when the greenhouse cover was on here, so I don't want to do that. But I do want to block more of the rain, so when it rains, not as much rain will come in. So what I did was I took a shower curtain liner. I got it at the Dollar Tree. It was literally $1. I cut it in half, and then I just duct taped it. I don't know if you could see it. Almost looks like a patchwork quilt. I duct taped it to the roof, and we'll see how it does. It's been a day now, and it's still where I put it. So I put the plastic on there just to try to keep the inside a little bit drier. When it rains, the outer edges of the shelves, they do get a little bit wet. And we're supposed to get the remnants of the hurricane this week, Hurricane Ida, I think for the next 2 days, like starting tomorrow and the next day. And today's going to be another gray and potentially rainy day. We've had such bad weather this summer. It has not been nice, and I feel like we always get the bad weather on the weekends because I haven't been able to do much for the last few weekends. So anyway, I'm really happy that Ditto's happy on the shelf in this rain shelter. It's 9:17 a.m. and Ditto's been eating some grass. I noticed that he likes to eat grass outside. There's been some, I call them weeds, but it's been grass growing on the side of the driveway, and I noticed he's been eating that. And he's also been eating some grass here near the side of the patio. Now, I'm saying it's grass. It might not be grass. It might be some kind of weed that he enjoys. And we have to remember that what we call weeds are actually medicinal herbs. The vast majority of the things that we call weeds for a yard or a garden are medicinal herbs. So I'm not sure what he's eating. Looks like he's just eating some grass. But many people say that cats just eat meat, and that's definitely not true. A very small portion of their diet does consist of plant matter. When cats are living in the wild, they do eat greens. So this year I made sure to not use any chemicals in the yard at all. All of the lawn care has been organic, and my yard does not look picture perfect. My lawn is definitely not picture perfect, but that's because I'm not using any chemicals on it. And it's really hard to find organic lawn care supplements. At least around here it is. I couldn't find any in New Jersey, but when I was on Long Island visiting Grandma and Grandpa one weekend, I was able to find some out there at one of the local garden stores. So I stocked up. So I'm glad I have not been putting any chemicals on the lawn. I just opened the back door. Here comes Ditto. Hey Ditto, good morning. Good morning, Ditto. Those are 2 plates left over from dinner yesterday. Ditto did not eat most of his dinner. He left it for the animals, or maybe he just didn't want to eat it. Boo just came over to say hello to him. Hello, Ditto. I'll put some food together for you. So I've noticed that Ditto is having some issues with his mouth again, and we know he has mouth issues. So I've been trying to give him more soft food, more raw food, and more wet food. But he's not eating it. He just wants to eat the crunchies. But at least I try. And once again, when a cat is living outside, it's much harder to control what they eat and what they drink and what they do. When they're inside, you have full control over it, but when they're outside, we have no idea what he's doing. During the day, he's been hanging out in the yard, and he's been spending time in the rain shelter. In the early morning, he'll go in there around 5 or 6 a.m. and hang out in there for a few hours. And then in the afternoon and the early evening, he'll do the same. But at night, I don't know where he goes. I have no idea where he goes. I don't know if he's wandering around all night, or I don't know if he just has another location where he likes to hang out, free from raccoons, skunks, and possums, because I know he's afraid of them. Hydrox was not afraid of any of the wildlife in the yard. Hydrox was the boss, and Hydrox just hissed at them, swatted them, and they left her alone. But Ditto's afraid of them, so he leaves, which is good. I just want him to stay out of trouble, and thankfully the past few weeks he's been staying out of trouble and everything's been good. But I'm going to put a plate of food together for him. When I go outside, he's going to want lots of pets. The inside cats have not been brushed yet. They have not eaten yet. They've not had any playtime. So for the inside cats, we have had a morning routine where they all get brushed. Then we get some playtime, and then we eat. That's been working out nicely. Today, I'm running a little bit late, and Ditto looks hungry, so I'm going to give him some food first. Good morning, Ditto. I gave you some food. You're getting some raw food today. This is Nature's Variety Instinct beef and cod, okay? I know you like it. That's why you're getting it. And if you eat it, then you can have some more, okay? But you got to eat it first. I'm not wasting food. Yesterday I wasted a whole platter of food, probably 2 platters of food, since you really didn't eat much breakfast either, okay? Okay? He does not feel like he's losing weight. He still feels good. I'm judging it by like the bones in his back. Yeah. He feels pretty good right now. Okay, Dittos. Okay, Dittos. Ditto likes pets more than anything. So anytime I give him food, we have to go through this routine. Ditto, it feels like it's starting to rain. It feels like it's starting to rain, Ditto. It's like drizzling, okay? It's drizzling, so you gotta eat your food before it gets all wet. And we don't put food in the shelter. No food in the shelters. When Ditto shakes his head like that, sometimes drool goes flying, so I have to be careful. Okay, come on. Eat your breakfast. Eat your breakfast. I know you'll like it because you've had it before and you've liked it before. Ditto's really the only one who really likes this food other than Simba. Come on. You eat your breakfast. Eat your breakfast, Ditto. Okay? Okay. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.